also his children didn't actually eat him. They were like,
Okay. So she wasn't that bad.
hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Arsenic and Espresso. I'm Alice Arsenic. This is my co-host Josh, and this is a podcast where we listen to metal music and talk about it. So we're back after a slight unexpected hiatus. I was in a car accident last weekend, and that threw off our filming schedule quite a bit. Thankfully, though, I was unharmed. No one else was in the car. I don't know if the other people were harmed because they drove off. So hopefully they're okay too. Anyway, thank you everyone for all of your kind words and just like messages of support over this last week. So thank you very much. I am doing great and I'm ready to just get back in the swing of things.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and kick it off.
Yes.
What are we reacting to tonight?
We are going to watch more SKYND. We're going to watch their video for the song Katherine Knight. And Katherine Knight is one of my personal I'm smiling way too much for talking about what I'm about to talk about. But Katherine Knight is one of my absolute favorite murderers. I believe she was the first woman put on death row in Australia.
I'm glad
or sentenced to death.
Okay, I was going to say I'm glad you know about her because I know nothing.
So, do you want just like the Cliff's Notes?
Yeah,
okay.
Give me a
So, Katherine Knight grew up in a fairly toxic environment as a child. She dropped out of school really, really young. She became sexually active really, really young. And she got a job at a slaughterhouse at like 15. And she slowly worked her way up to being like the head slaughterer.
Okay.
And she was very proud of like her set of knives and her knife skills. And on more than one occasion, she threatened sexual partners with her knives. She actually hung them above her bed. Yeah. So like if you were with her, you're like staring at these knives like right above the headboard. Like
okay.
So she threatened partners all the time. She was married several times and threatened the lives of all of her husbands. She had children. Her children were taken away from her. But at least to this day, they still defend her even after what she's
crazy
done.
Yeah.
She tried killing her firstborn daughter like 4 separate times.
So like mad Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, like it's horrible, and the children still defend her.
That's insane.
It's crazy. But anyway, the reason she was put on death row, her last husband, I believe it was her third marriage, he had told everyone at his work, hey, if I don't come to work tomorrow, you should probably call 911. Katherine is going to kill me.
Okay.
And the next day came. He didn't show up at work. His coworkers called 911. And, this is where it gets so horrible. Oh, my gosh. So his coworkers call 911, and they're like, hey, we're very worried about him. Like, please go check on him.
Yeah.
So they go to their home, and they walk through the front door, and everything's dark. But they can see in the hallway that there's blood all over the floor. There's, like, blood on the walls. And the first officer on the scene describes having to, like, push past this, like, curtain.
Oh, I see where this is going.
And they realized that the curtain was the single piece of, like, the full skin of her husband.
The flesh suit.
Cut off in one single piece. So
she was good at her job.
She was very good at her job. They walk in and they find his body in an armchair, skinned, decapitated, but like lounging, like hands resting and like legs crossed as if he were like sitting reading a paper. And they could not find his head anywhere. And so everyone's like freaking out because they can't find his head. They find Katherine in one of the bedrooms wearing lingerie, and she's completely like she's sedated, and they find that she had tried to like overdose on like sleeping pills, but she didn't take enough, so she was just like in and out. They go into the kitchen, and in the kitchen there were place settings at the table with his biological children's names at the place settings. And then there was a pot cooking on the stove. In the pot was his head, and at the place settings were pieces of his body. She had filleted his buttocks into 3 steaks, 2 at the table and 1 thrown into the backyard.
I'm not scared.
So let's watch the video. I'm so excited.
Yeah, let's jump in. All right,
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
Have you heard this one yet?
No.
Okay.
That made me jump.
So much production put into these videos.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna call you in the dark, taste your burning heart. I hate you. I wanna hang you from my door, bleed you to the core. I love you.
I'm seeing the parts of the story that you were just talking about with the different pieces or like body parts on the table and everything. Talking about hanging him in the doorway. So good. Here.
I want to taste you on my lips, tear you into bits. I hate you. I wanna get under your skin, tear you limb by limb. I love you.
Also, his children didn't actually eat him. They were like...
Okay. So she wasn't that bad. This is very unsettling.
It's very unsettling.
It's super creepy. The creep factor is there, just like in the last one. Yeah.
I'm curious if it's going to stay slow. It probably is.
Yeah.
Katherine
I want
Knight, who
something...
knew? A ballad.
Right. A ballad. And her knives hanging everywhere.
Upside down, skin you dry, chew you down, hang you up. Upside down, skin you dry, chew you down, hang you up.
I like that little bit of speed that it got. Just enough.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your initial thoughts?
I like, so kind of like when we reviewed Igor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like a performing art, right?
Yes, more performance art, not necessarily just a music video.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot that went into that.
The worst part, he almost made it out.
Yeah.
So as the investigation went on, they found blood on the front porch,
Mm-hmm.
and he had gotten outside, and then she literally dragged him back in. Like,
That's crazy. So, like, what's the defense for her? Because you said that her kids defend her. Is it just because she was abused as a kid? Like,
I think
is
so.
that just
Yeah.
you
yeah,
know?
the abuse she endured and suffered. But like, it's the perfect case of like, I guess gaslighting would be it, because everyone is so quick to say that like men can't be abused, but all of her previous partners testified like, yes, she physically abused me. She
Yeah.
verbally abused and assaulted me. She would sexually abuse them. She raped many of her sexual partners
Yeah.
and like her spouses, and like she would threaten them if they didn't continue to have sex with her. I think it was her second marriage. On their wedding night, they had sex like 3 times, and then he woke up to her sitting on his chest with a knife to his throat, and she was saying like, how dare you have fallen asleep on our wedding night. Yeah. And then they stayed together, and then she stabbed him in the stomach with scissors, and he left her and then went back to her. So she was an incredibly abusive and manipulative person.
You see that we all know stories, I guess,
Mhm.
of women in that case, right?
Yes.
That go back to the dude who's abused.
Yes,
And
and
we're
you're like,
like,
how do you go
why?
back when
You
you
know,
know it's a
how
bad
can you do it? Yeah.
situation?
So that it happens on both sides.
Yeah.
Or that it can happen on both. That's crazy.
Yeah, abuse is a weird thing because it does tend to, like, from an outside perspective, we're all saying like, obviously you should want to get out of this situation. You should want to be somewhere that's safe, somewhere with someone who doesn't want to harm you or stab you with scissors,
Or skin you.
or skin you, or
Feed you to your
feed you
kids,
to
the
your
whole kid.
children. But when you're the person in this situation, the abuser tends to find a way to make you feel guilty for leaving them.
Yeah.
And I think Katherine Knight tended to do that with her partners, of just saying like, well, you never loved me, or if you did care, this, that, and the other. And like, she would also like threaten their like masculinity and say, well, if you're a real man, you
Right.
could be with me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she was just a master manipulator and abuser.
Yeah.
And so like,
Oh, that's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy. Musically, it was a lot of fun to listen to.
I like the dynamic
was-
of their songs. I like that. So I've also listened to, I believe it was the Richard Ramirez.
Okay.
I think it was their song Richard Ramirez that I listened to. And it has that same like very like slow pace and
Mhm.
like very rhythmic like undertone to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of their songs have this like kind of
Well,
slow
that's
intro.
How Jim Jones started too. It was
Yeah.
very slow,
and then
very
it just slowly builds until you
almost
hit
like
this,
a seance, right? Like
yeah, because it I feel like it is trying to get you in like this like meditative state.
it definitely
you're-
draws you straight into the video. Yeah.
it
for the whole
does. It
message.
does. They have really
That's-
mastered that like creep factor, and that like that feeling that something has like gotten a hold of you and is like
Yeah.
forcing you to pay attention to something.
Yeah, that's
You want me to just
it's
pull up the
unsettling.
lyrics?
Yeah, let's
How uncomfortable are you right now?
very uncomfortable. I'm glad you're not good with knives. So that's
I am not at all. Not at all.
blink twice if you're okay, right?
Katherine Knight by SKYND. I want to cut you in the dark, taste your bleeding heart. I hate you. I want to hang you from the door, bleed you to the core. I love you. I can never get enough of you. Deep inside, you feel the same way too. I will always love you. I will always love you. I want to taste you on my lips, tear you into bits. I hate you. I want to get under your skin, tear you limb by limb. I love you. I can never get enough of you. Deep inside, you feel the same way too. I will always love you. I will always love you. Hang you upside down, skin you dry, tear you down. Hang you up, upside down, skin you dry, tear you down. Hang you up in the name of love, skin you dry in the name of love. I will always love you. 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 Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
She was a master manipulator and abuser.
Yep.
I feel like that captures it nicely.
I feel like they incorporated
Mm-hmm.
all of the the main ideas from what you were telling in the story, right? You
Yeah.
can see the
I
placemat,
did
the
wonder
place
how they
setting,
were gonna write a song about something like so in depth and like, because her story, it starts when she's like in kindergarten is when the first horrific thing happens to her, and it just continues on.
They did it pretty well.
I think they did it pretty well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for waiting around for the last week or so of us not uploading. You can follow us on all of our other social medias. We do try to update those with whatever's going on that would affect this YouTube channel.
Lay down.
Is it an earthshake or is it a dog?
Right.
We don't know. Yeah, so we try and update our other social medias with whatever's going on that will affect the YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, actually watch our 2020 recap videos. We talk a little bit about what to expect. Because of my car accident, our schedule is definitely thrown off. So this week, you're probably just going to get some regular old reaction videos. And then after this week, there'll be some new stuff probably.
Yeah,
Don't
definitely.
you think?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned for 2021. A whole lot of different types of videos that we want to do. So just stay tuned. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you dug this song and you liked our reaction. And we'll catch you guys on the next video.